There's a storm brewing. It's a supernatural storm. There's a storm brewing. It's a supernatural storm. But the end is not yet. The end is not yet. No, the end is not yet. Okay, this will probably be my final live stream of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Just keeping you up on events concerning Russia and Ukraine. And this is a fast and fluid situation. Let's jump into some details here. If you are out there, jump into the chat, say hello. Let us know you're out here, and I will get started, my friends. Let's run through this. This won't be a long live stream, but let's dive in anyway. Okay. Large explosions have been reported in Mariopol. Reports of heavy bombardment. I've been seeing this popping up through a number of sources. The Kiev Independent is reporting that Territorial Defense Force pushes back an attack near the city of Sumy, northeast of Kiev. The Deputy Defense Minister says, and Kiev again is in the crosshairs right now. There's been a lot of action around the city of Kiev, which is the capital of the Ukraine, and we will see what happens, folks. If it doesn't happen tonight, maybe tomorrow Ukraine will come under a serious attack. Let's keep moving on, folks. We don't need to look at him. Let's see. The Ukrainian army troops are trying to retake the port of Odessa. All right, they have launched a counteroffensive and are now fighting with Russia army occupiers. Maybe we can see some action here. Let's have a look. You can hear the sounds of gunfire there, my friends. Okay, let's keep moving it now. There are strong explosions in Hostomel. They're arriving constantly right now. Moving forward, Ukraine's operational nuclear power plants are running safely and securely, and there has been no destruction at the remaining waste and other facilities at Chernobyl. And again, there's a concern about that waste being disrupted now that the Russians have taken that over. There's concern that that waste would be struck by some sort of weaponry and possibly infect the air and those around it. The UN nuclear watchdog said on Thursday that these nuclear power plants are running safely. So we will have to keep an eye on that situation too, folks. Again, so many things happening. Going to keep moving forward here. Let's see. We've got some other news here, but we're going to keep moving on and cover what's most important. Russian Defense Ministry says a plane crashed near Ukraine, killing the crew. I saw a report of that earlier. And now, after Biden has spoken, Putin has said the West will face consequences greater than any you have faced in history. Is he threatening a nuclear strike? And Biden replied, no idea. If you want to give a listen to that, here we go. Let's give a listen to it.
Consequences greater than any you have faced in history. Is he threatening a nuclear strike?
I have no idea what he's threatening. I know what he has done, number one. And number two, no one expected the sanctions to prevent anything from happening. It has to show, this is going to take time, and we have to show resolve so he knows what's coming. And so the people of Russia know what
Okay, let's move on from that, folks. There's many more things here I want to cover. Now, the U.S. has issued 3 NOTAMs effective immediately prohibiting U.S. airlines from operating in Ukraine, Belarus, and in Russian airspace within 160 nautical miles of the border between Russia and Ukraine, within the Moscow, Samara, and Rostov FIR. So again, this is a NOTAM. These these airliners cannot operate in Ukraine, Belarus, and in Russian airspace within 160 miles of the border between Russia and Ukraine, within Moscow, Samara, and Rostov FIRs. Again, this has been actually, we looked at, or I looked at Ukrainian airspace earlier through Flight Radar 24, and there was just nothing above it whatsoever. Hello, Adam. Hello, Jaded Truther again. Hello, everybody. Again, another quick live stream to catch you up on what is happening here, and hopefully we'll see some information on something that is of great concern to me. And Adam, yes, Biden is a pushover. He's the one who's owned by Russia, yeah, and by China too, I would say. Let's keep rolling here, folks. Hostomel airfield is recaptured by the armed forces of Ukraine. Okay, so Russia had taken this. The armed forces of Ukraine have taken it back. All right, the enemy landing force has been destroyed. The plan to capture the runway to receive troops from Russia has failed. Well, there you go. There's a score for the Ukraine right there. Again, the Ukraine, they have been game through this thing today. Certainly they are overmatched. Certainly they are fighting against a nuclear power. But they have been holding their own. I just don't know how long that's going to continue. Now, moving on, China says no comparison of Ukraine with Taiwan. Taiwan reiterates Taiwan has always been an integral part of China. And we should be watching for China to make a move on Taiwan. Absolutely. While we're busy watching this situation, this would be a prime time for China to make a move. So again, we see here that the Ukrainians have recaptured Gostomel Airport, according to an advisor to the presidential office. This was tweeted by Intel Dogi. Russian assault forces fully destroyed. Now, if that's true, that's great news. Always have to be watching for misinformation and just flat out fake news in some cases. Now, per the Rage Acts, Canada has sanctioned 58 Russian individuals and entities. That's 58, folks. I wonder if Russia even cares. I would sense they probably don't. And we will keep right on moving here. There's just a few of us here, but you know the reporting must go on. According to woofers, Ukrainians may end up having to abandon Mariopol if the forces to the west can't hold in order to avoid getting encircled. Russian forces are fighting with Ukrainian units in Melitopol. If there is not a counterattack here, there may be a breakthrough. There may be a breakthrough. All right, folks, let's hope. Let's keep moving. Marks always has his hand on the pulse of what's going on here. Military equipment spotted near Brest, Belarus today, some of them marked with a V. Okay, let's have a look, because we've been seeing a lot of Zs. Now we should see some Vs. This is from earlier today. You can see the V on that one right there. That was just a quick video, but let's watch again. Actually, no, we're still going here. How about that? That's not a V, that's flashing lights. We're looking for Vs, folks. We saw one. This tank right here has got a V on the side right there. So we have Vs, we have Zs, and we have Os. These are markings on Russian equipment that are moving through the area. Each one has some sort of designation. And again, we see reports, this is from the Kiev Post, by way of Endgame World War III. The Ukrainian city of Mariopol is under heavy fire with reports of hundreds of explosions. The city is one of the biggest Ukrainian ports on the Azov Sea. Now, taking Mariupol, according to the Kiev Post, would help Russia secure a direct land route to Crimea, the Ukrainian peninsula annexed by Russia in 2014. So again, this stuff is just coming up fast and furious, folks. Hello, Yeshua is coming. Glad to have you back here with me for what, I think this is the third or fourth time today. Same with you, Jared, Jaded Truther. Third or fourth time today. This will probably be my last one for the day, folks. Let's keep rolling here. According to Live UA Map, and this is a very reliable source, the An-26 aircraft, that's AN-26 aircraft of the Russian Air Force, crashed into the Voronezh region. The crew died. All right. Now, Biden, of course, has implemented or is in the process of implementing all manner of sanctions against Russia, including its banking system. Here we see Russian SureBank shares are already down by 36%. That may be a result of sanctions or threats of sanctions, folks. We'll see how long that stands. Yes, okay. We can't even talk about that stuff. YouTube doesn't like me talking about that stuff there. Again, here's more reporting on that NOTAM. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration prohibits U.S. airlines from operating in airspace of Ukraine, Belarus, and part of Western Russia. And that, of course, would be wise for them not to be operating there because they could be shot down. What do we have here? Okay, yeah, this just seems like a couple of fellas having a meeting. Again, we see reports of the Russian An-26 military transport aircraft that has crashed in Voronezh Oblast tonight. The entire crew died. Okay, more reporting of that NOTAM. Not a lot of video coming out right now, folks, as this day one appears to be maybe winding down. But here's news of more sanctions from Intel Dogi. U.S. Treasury hits two major Russian financial institutions with sanctions, they being Sberbank and VTB Bank. VTB is fully frozen. All assets held in U.S. banks frozen immediately. How will the Russians respond to this, if they even respond at all? Again, they have stated often that they aren't worried about any sanctions. And we're seeing here from Ilya Ponomarenko, who is a defense reporter with the Kiev Rapid Response Brigade, is trying to eliminate Russian landing troops and deny the airfield runway for enemy aircraft. So this is what is going on currently at this time, my friends. I'm going to hang in here a few minutes longer. We're going to start at the top and run through this and see what has developed in the meantime. Earlier it was said that by the Russians that they had accomplished their military objectives for the day. Whatever that meant, I don't know, because it sounds like these military objectives are still going forth. Let's see if anything new has popped in the last few minutes. Again, we know about the Russian military transport plane that has crashed near the border with Ukraine. Now, according to Woofers, who was piped in, pro-Russian sources claiming Mariopol, just when you think you can speak Russian, you can't. Mariopol taken, not confirmed, but the Russians were outside the city. Okay, here we have some heavy rocket attack taking place near Kharkiv, Ukraine. Let's grab a look, my friends. Wow.
Вот оно куда упало.
That is like a 4th of July fireworks display.
Нихуя себе, блядь.
That was really something, folks, and it's still ongoing. I was going to cut it, but okay. And now it appears to be over, except for the. Oh, here we go. All right, my friends, you get the idea on that. We've had some anti-war protests going on in Moscow today, and over 1,000 people were arrested for protesting that. This looks like something similar in the Ukraine. There's no more news as far as what is going on with that. For my next live stream, folks, I'm going to try to find some live feeds from some of these cities. Here's a picture of some of the explosions in Kharkiv from their live feed. Many of these cities have live cameras that they've placed around. This is that video from Kharkiv we just saw. So far, official Ukrainian army report says they have 57 killed in actions and almost 200 wounded in action today. The actual numbers must be higher. I would imagine so. That was tweeted by Gregor Martin, and I would imagine that it's probably much higher than that. 57 killed in action and almost 200 wounded in action so far today, my friends. Again, this is we don't know how long this is going to continue on for. We don't know how widespread this is going to be. I can't help but think that Putin is not just going to stop here at the Ukraine unless somehow he is stopped. And I can't picture that happening. He has got some very significant ambitions right now, which would include other of the former Soviet republics. He would like to have them back under his wing. He's got expansionism on his mind, and he's got China at his back. So this could be a long, drawn-out affair unless there is a serious escalation, which may bring about a premature close. Or, again, I hate to say nuclear war. It's not likely. It is not likely. It's always possible. My main concern right now, my friends, is this, and it is cyber attacks. We here in the U.S. government has promised to respond with any cyber attacks by the Russians, probably with cyber attacks of our own. Cyber attacks should be a major concern of ours right now, as far as retaliation from Russia, perhaps for the sanctions. And there isn't a lot we can do to prevent that. I mean, we are so dependent on this World Wide Web, these interwebs. A cyber attack, I mean, that could cripple much of our operating infrastructure if it was serious enough. And this is something we should certainly be looking at. And speaking of that, let's take a jump over here to the threat map put out by none other than Kaspersky, which is a Russian antivirus. Still, let's look at the cyber threat real-time map right here and get an idea of what might be going on. The United States is still the fourth most attacked country in the world right now, and things seem to be fairly quiet here in the U.S. There are some botnet activity taking place. There is also some intrusion detection scans going on. Again, people concerned about these intrusions. But if we swing around here to Russia, let's have a look. Come on, you can speed up. There we go. What if the world really turned that fast? Would we all fall off? Let's get a closer look at this and see if we can. Russia, as far as intrusion detections and intrusions of any manner, this has really quieted down since earlier today. There was a time today when this entire area was completely lit up with the magenta. There were just what appeared to be hundreds and hundreds of attacks going on. Right now, it appears to be a lot more quiet. We will see what happens in the coming days, but as we take one more look at the United States here, let me see if I can blow this up for you a little bit. Okay, all of a sudden now we're getting much more activity here. We're getting a lot of activity here. I just had to blow that up, and you can see where we're getting a host of ransomware attacks. Again, these are picked up by this software, this Kaspersky software. We're getting mostly what we're seeing here is intrusion detection scans. Again, concerns about intrusions. Cyber attacks are something certainly, folks, that we need to be concerned about right now. And that may be my chief concern with all of this is that. But my friends, that seems to be where we're at right now. I just, again, wanted to do a quick live stream to catch you up to date on things. I appreciate you being here. I'm not going to remind you to like this or share this because I'm going to be pulling the plug on it right now. But as this thing continues to go on, I'm going to be live streaming as frequently as possible as opposed to making videos about the particular events. Thank you, Jaded Truther. Adam of Good, always appreciate you. Thank you, Yeshua is coming. And whoever else was in here that didn't pop into the chat, I greatly appreciate you being here. Again, be prayerful, be careful, be watchful, because so much could go on over the next hours and days. Cyber attacks, again, are my number one concern more than anything else. The nuclear element, it's been thrown around out there. At this point, I doubt it's very likely. Cyber attacks, much more significant. Please keep the innocent people, both in Russia and Ukraine, in your prayers. Keep them in your prayers. These are people that did not want to get dragged into this, and let's keep them in our prayers as always. I I will see you tomorrow, I'm sure, folks. Unless something significant breaks again today, then I will pop in. But I think the details right now are pretty well, everything is status quo. If something significant happens, I will be back with another live stream. But in the meantime, I wish you all a good remainder of your afternoon and a good night.